Hello, everyone. My name is Samantha Garcia, and I'm going to be talking about the pipe cleaner practice strategy that comes from the SciOp book from the strategy section. So, what is the pipe cleaner practice strategy? So, at the end of a lesson, students are given a pipe cleaner post lesson and asked to model their interpretation by creating a figure out of the pipe cleaner. After creating their figure, students will form into small groups and discuss their creations. After discussing as a group, they will decide which representation that they would like to present to the class. They can also decide to remake one together. So, if the group decides that they aren't happy with anybody's interpretation after having a conversation, they can get together and create one themselves that they will then share with the rest of the class. And down in the corner, I just added a picture of pipe cleaners for those who may not be familiar. So the content and language objectives, I took these ones from our book and I also translated them into Spanish as well. So for the content, students will visualize a story read aloud. And for the language, students will share with a partner what they are visualizing using the sentence frame. I made a blank with my pipe cleaner because I visualized blank in the story. I should have added students will in there as well. My mistake. And the next generation standards that I feel best fit this fall under second grade. And so the first one is 2R1, which is to develop and answer questions to demonstrate an understanding of key ideas and details in a text. So I felt that this was represented through the pipe cleaners because students will be asking questions, answering questions to their group members and possibly their teacher as well and their classmates when they present based on their interpretation. And I also picked out 2R2, which is identify a main topic or central idea and retell key details in a text, summarize portions of a text. So students will be doing this again when they're explaining about their pipe cleaner, talking in their group discussions, etc. So here's a list of the strategy implementations. This is coming directly from the elementary example from the book. So students will complete a short read about a topic or idea. Individually, students are given a pipe cleaner and asked to create something that represents their understanding of a topic or something that they visualized in the reading. Students will take turns sharing their pipe cleaner creations with a small group. And as a group, students will decide which creation to share, or they will create a combined combination to showcase their collaborative idea. So, like I said before, if students do not agree upon the pipe cleaner and they decide that they want to make a new one, maybe a combination of two, they can do that. So I'm going to combine my demonstration and realia here. So I hope that I'm not too small here in the corner, but on the right is the finished product. And on the left, this is the book that I'm going to be basing it off of. So I'm following a similar implementation to the book, to our book. So the book that I chose is Somebody Loves You, Mr. Hatch. I'm sure if you are exposed to elementary education, you might be familiar with this book. This is the book that I taught a lesson on during my student teaching in second grade. And in this book, basically to summarize it quickly, Mr. Hatch is an older gentleman who is very closed off to the idea of love. He's not very fond of Valentine's Day. And basically, in the end, he finds that love is all around him within his neighborhood in places that he was not expecting it. So if I were a student and I just finished this read aloud of Somebody Loves You, Mr. Hatch, I personally would decide to go with a heart because in the book, one of the focal items is a heart-shaped box of chocolates that Mr. Hatch receives. He thinks he has a Valentine's Day admirer. He does not, but it's a heart-shaped box of chocolates that he receives. So that's why I made mine in the corner a heart. So this is my little pipe cleaner. I'm going to attempt to do this quickly so students would form it into the shape that they want it to be. And like I said, for mine, I'm creating a heart. For time's sake, it might not be as pretty as my picture on the side. But yeah, so there we go. So this is the heart that I decided to create. And then when I met with my group, if I were the student, I would talk about why I did this, explain that this is a representation of the chocolate heart box, and that was what I took away from the book. And if we decided as a group that this was what we wanted to do as our presentation, we would do so. If not, we would create something new. So, why is this good for emergent bilingual students? So, they're able to show their content knowledge through visuals. And this is specifically important for students who may have trouble verbalizing their ideas. They can show the heart or any, shape that they decide to create. And they can use it also as an aid with their verbal language as well. So, they can use the heart to help them describe. As I said, a visual aid. And this activity also lets them show their creativity and really exhibit how they interpret things. And some students are going to surprise you, I feel like, with this activity. For me, like I said, with the book, I immediately thought of a heart, but a student might attempt to create the shape of Mr. Hatch's face or something else of that nature. I feel like for me at least, I um, find that students can be pretty creative. So I think that this would be a very interesting activity. So pipe cleaner practice and languaging. This strategy focuses on the language skills of listening and speaking because students are listening to the lesson as well as what their friends are saying in the group discussions. And they're verbally participating in the group discussions as well. And students are also listening to their classmates as they present. This would fall under the meta-linguistic competence because students are using their linguistic terminology to discuss their pipe cleaners and how it relates to the lesson or how it relates to the story. And these are my references. And I just would like to note that I in the book I thought this was a very helpful tip that although this strategy is very useful, it could become a distraction for students. So it's very important to not give these pipe cleaners out until you are ready for them to be used. And something else that I saw was that it could be very beneficial to have students run their ideas by you before they create um, their shape, because you might run into the issue of a student, not creating anything because they couldn't think of anything. So if that time came, you could scaffold a student and you guys could figure something out together. But yeah, so there is my presentation on pipe cleaner practice. Hope you all enjoyed it and have a great day.